Hey guys and gals, what's going on? Misan here. Today I'm going to be talking about Suicide Squad and how critics have slammed this movie. Now I haven't seen it, but I know people who have seen this movie and actually said it was pretty good. So I was wondering why. It got a 26% on Rotten Tomatoes. I'm going to go on Rotten Tomatoes right now actually and read the critical consensus for Suicide. But I mean, this comes as a surprise, honestly, because you would think David Ayer, pretty good director, great writer. He wrote Training Day, he directed Fury, which was good, and To Watch, which is great, and he directed Street Kings, which was pretty moving. But this is a critical consensus for Suicide Squad. Suicide Squad boasts a talented cast and a little more humor than previous DCEU efforts, but what DCEU stands for DC Comics, whatever. But they aren't good enough to save the disappointing end result from a muddled plot, thinly written characters, and choppy directing. Ooh, David Ayer. And but the average rating is 4.7, so that's still not good at all. But it's not like it deserves a 26% by the way it sounds. But movie starring also who else? Will Smith, Jared Leto, Margaret Robbie, Joe Kinnaman, I don't know who that is, Viola Davis, uh, Jay Hernandez, Ike Barinholtz, James McGovern, Izza Miller. It's a lot. It's a lot of. There's a lot of names in this movie. I believe Scott Eastwood was in this movie. Yep, he was Scott Eastwood. Hey, Ben Affleck was in this too. What? I did not know that. But anyway, fans hate this movie. Not fans hate this movie. Fans are so pissed at Rotten Tomatoes for this score that they want people to shut it down. So I'm reading this article from USA Today called "Critics Slam Suicide Squad, So Fans Try to Shut Down Rotten Tomatoes" by Carly Mellenbaum, I think. Sorry if I butchered your name, Carly. But here it goes. Suicide Squad's methodical release of an engaging movie trailers, perfectly scored clips, wacky on-set anecdotes. We're looking at you, Jared Leto, have had DC comic fans salivating for their supervillain movie for a good year. The Warner Brothers movie hits theaters this weekend, and the film, starring Will Smith, Margaret Robbie, and Leto, has the lethal Deadshot Harley Quinn, and Joker is supposed to be great, right? I guess not. But that last part was in the article. I just added that in. Anyway, according to many movie critics, excluding our own Brian Trough, who gave the film 3.5 out of 4 stars. Wow, no, not so much. Here's a sampling review that helped the movie earn 31% score. Wow, this is old. It went down after that. Suicide. Here's some samplings here. So I'm gonna read. This is from the New York Post. Suicide Squad isn't a movie. It is a 2-hour trailer demolition derby or barely explained action and Joel quips. The question isn't whether Suicide Squad is as good as the Avengers or whether it's as bad as Green Lantern. Wow. At least Ryan Reynolds has Death Squad now, so he's good to go. If you know someone who you really can't stand, not someone you dislike, not someone who rubs you the wrong way, but someone you really loathe and detest, send that person a ticket to Suicide Squad. It's the kind of torment you only wish on your worst enemy without feeling too guilty. Not something to inflict permanent damage, just 2 hours of soul sucking, sickening confusion and sensory torment. Miami. That was a San Francisco Chronicle, by the way. This is from Miami Herald. There isn't a moment of spontaneous fun or humor in this long, turgid movie, the latest letdown for DC comic fans who have been waiting for someone to pick up the baton Christopher Nolan left behind to do this universe justice. And from the New York Times. Suicide Squad is so-so, off-peak superhero movie. It chases after the nihilistic swagger of Deadpool and the anarchy whimsy of the Guardians of the Galaxy, but trips over its own feet. It's too cynical, or too scared to be grisly, or as dirty as it should be. Grizzly, I mean, sorry. The Philadelphia Inquirer. In fact, Suicide Squad wait, what? No, schizophrenic movie, schizoid movie. I think that's what this dude's saying. It is on the whole a brainless, over the top, gun blazing actioner. Yet the action is interrupted several times by earnest timeouts while the characters explore their inner selves like members of a group therapy session. That's pretty good. Rolling Stone, what do they have to say? The Walking Dead aren't the only cliches that eat away at the potential in this material. Super Freaks become Super Sweeties, and Suicide Squad, Dawn of Dullness. That was great. His subtitle. Does the impossible. Forget Batman vs. Superman. At least it tried. This botched job makes Fantastic Four look good. However, some hardcore fans of the franchise, most of whom have not likely seen this film, which opens Friday. Yeah, this is old. Not that old, come on. But aren't just sitting back and reading the negative reviews. Instead, thousands have signed a change.org petition to shut down Rotten Tomatoes. Because, as with Batman vs. Superman, Dawn of Justice, 27%, it's sick. Critics always give the DC Extended Universe movies just unjust bad reviews. However, it seems that Abdul Coldwater, the creator of the petition, has apparently had a change of heart. He posted announcements garnering 17,615 supporters for a successful campaign. In fact, I started a petition to guide DC fans to express our anger just for fun. I didn't mean to be taken seriously. After thinking, I found this petition is pointless, and the only thing that it does is spreading a speech of hate and online fighting among the supporters and the objectors. The movie is something to enjoy, and the hate and fight is the opposite of joy. Wow. Well, what do I have to say? What do I have to say about that? Let me think. It's just, Rotten Tomatoes is kind of, I don't want to say it's useless, but I've been going to that site less and less because, that percentage rating doesn't really accurately show how good or bad a movie is. Okay, look at a movie like How to Train Your Dragon. Got a 98% on Rotten Tomatoes. The first one and the second one got like a 94, 96, something like that. I mean, that 98% is something you would think, it has to be like a masterpiece. Like, movies like, like, Raging Bull got a 98%. Like, some of Scorsese's best movies scored that high. You would think it'd be like that. And you look at the average review is like a 7.7. So that means people thought it was pretty good. Nobody thought it was. Not a lot of people really thought it was like, oh my gosh, amazing. Like it was a good movie. It wasn't like a masterpiece or anything like that. And you look at Suicide Squad. So okay, most people didn't like it, but it's not like people thought it was down. Most people thought it was downright horrible. I think that one dude, I believe it was the was it? I think it was a New York Times dude. I believe he pretty much said how most people felt about it. It was like so. Like it was not bad. I think by DC Comics and Warner Bros. What they did was I think they shot themselves in the foot by hyping this up and making it seem like it was going to be like an amazing movie. And I was really excited to see it. I haven't seen it yet, but I've been really excited to see it. I mean, Jared Leto's a Joker, all the crazy stuff that he's been doing. You got Will Smith, you got Margot Robbie, you got all these people. And they've been hyping it up for a long time, and it didn't live up to the hype. It really didn't. And, I mean, to be fair to the critics, DC Comics really hasn't been making a movie, that's really good since Nolan's days. Like, I'm trying to think of what's been out there from DC Comics been really worthy, and I'm quite frankly drawing a blank. There really hasn't been. I don't have hope for this Justice League movie either, to be honest. I don't think anyone really does. It's just, disappointing, to be perfectly honest. So, what are they gonna, but about this Rotten Tomatoes thing, like, I'm not the biggest fan of Rotten Tomatoes anymore, but, like, getting it shut down is a bit much, and this dude can say all he wants, like, oh, it's just meant to be, like, it wasn't meant to be serious. Like, how are you gonna say telling people that you want to have a petition shut down the site is not serious? Stop lying, little bitch. Like, don't be a bitch and go back on your word, man. Like, this is what annoys me, some of these little kids on the internet. I mean, I'm not saying he's okay. He could be a full grown-ass man for all I know. He probably is. But, like, don't go back on what you were doing, man. We know what you were doing. You wanted to freaking have Rotten Tomatoes shut down because you're a movie that you probably didn't see. got bad reviews and most people didn't like it. And I'm sure if you watch it, probably disappointed, you're gonna be like, oh man, this sucks. I wonder if Rotten Tomatoes was around when Phantom Menace came out. If fans would have revolted. I mean, a lot of the fans hated that movie too. Well, probably more than critics. Even though, yeah, it got like I think it's like up to a 59, maybe 60% Rotten Tomatoes. So critics are a lot nicer. They already Suicide Squad. But I think the critics in particular, had been so conditioned by Nolan's stuff that they're expecting that kind of quality, but maybe they just don't have the directors, or just Nolan understood that world and was able to make it his own. Like, you got what's his name, Zack Snyder. He's directed a couple that he's doing. Excuse me, I'm sorry. He's doing a decent amount. He's doing the both Justice League movies with, guess who? Amber Heard's in them. Yes, I know. And he can do the superhero stuff pretty well. Like, it's in his wheelhouse. But even then, like, he's got the visuals, but he's not Nolan. He can't. These guys are kind of like, trying to go in this territory, and they're. I mean, okay, Zack Snyder also did Watchmen, and that was great, honestly. Like, it has been, and that was right after Dark Knight, I believe. So these. The critic got a point in that area, but like that's the thing with knowing about Rotten Tomatoes. I think Rotten Tomatoes makes movies basically seem better than what they are, and then worse. The same token, worse than what they really are. Like, I'm sure, like I said, like definitely not. I said Death Note. I have that anime on the brain. I'm sure that Suicide Squad is not as bad as people make it out to be. Like, you see a movie like 5%. I'm like, can it really be that awful? Probably not. But it's pretty bad. Probably it is just 5%, and it has to be pretty. Could you imagine if you got like a 2% or something like that? Like, one critic liked it. The fanboys would have been going to the buildings around Tomatoes and burning it down, throwing probably Rotten Tomatoes at them. Honestly, it's like, they'd be like, "Screw you, man! This is my movie, and you can't just hate on that shit. You monkey eater!" Like, stuff like that. So, what needs to happen on Rotten Tomatoes? I don't know. I don't think it needs to be shut down, but I think people just need to fucking take it less seriously. Like, it's really not that big of a deal. Like, don't go on there so much. That's what I do. Don't let them decide what a movie's good. Like, it's a shame, I guess, because most people take Rotten Tomatoes really serious, and it's hard not to, like, because they got all the critics, and the critics are paid to tell us if these movies are good or not. And you know what? Honestly, critics are right most of the time. If I'm being perfectly honest, they're usually right. They usually get it right. And yeah, it's tough for when that happens, when you see a movie that you really want to be good and you're like, oh, I got shitty reviews. That sucks. I remember not seeing any, reviews at all last weekend. I mean, not last week, the weekend before last, for Suicide Squad. I was like, oh, it's probably going to get bad reviews. Usually I can tell. I mean, every once in a while you'll be surprised. Like, oh, we got decent reviews overall. But usually, if a movie doesn't get reviews leading up to the weekend, when it's the weekend's getting released, like the weekend before, something like that, then it's going done. I'm sorry, guys, it keeps going down. It's just gonna go down, and that's so I kind of saw it coming. I don't know, maybe just. I mean, regardless though, Suicide Squad made a lot of money. Like, I'm gonna look. I think it's made like $125 million in the United States alone. So it's gonna get a sequel. It's gonna get a sequel easily, and so on the financial aspect of it, but all it's successful. I guess that matters for something. It kind of sucks that Hollywood has to be built on this the business, but it kind of sucks that it's the way it is. They don't care so much about quality as far as if it makes money. Oh, it made $267 million worldwide in opening weekend on a $175 million budget. Yeah, they're okay. they're just fine. Like, yeah, just because it didn't go critically right, but they're gonna be just fine. Like, so no, don't. Rotten Tomatoes is not gonna get shut down. Doesn't need to get shut down. Things are alright in that front, guys. Stop panicking, fanboys, and I guess I'll say fangirls too. Just don't panic. Every little thing is gonna be alright. Do. I said, don't worry about a thing. Every little thing is gonna be alright. See, just listen to me. Just don't worry about it. They'll be in the, they made their money. They're gonna keep making these movies. Cause look at Transformers. A lot of people are gonna be like, "What are you saying? It's bad as Transformers. Screw you, man." But you know, the truth is, I'll deceive myself though. Like there's been some disappointing movies this whole year. I mean, starting with really with like the what's that movie? The X-Men movie. I heard that was not good. Um, Ghostbusters, all that bullshit. I'm gonna do a podcast about that later. This now. What else? There's been even Born wasn't as good as people thought it was gonna be. Like it's been a disappointing, summer and not I can't really say disappointing year. There's some good movies out this year too. But there's I think a lot of movies that people thought were going to be good just quite frankly weren't that good. The BFG didn't really do that bad, but like it didn't do that good financially at all. And I don't think people didn't really love that movie. It wasn't like Spielberg's best, obviously. So yeah, it's just how that's how it goes sometimes. This speaks about. Hopefully, one thing Hollywood learns from this that just because you get these existing franchises that I mean this movie did well as well, but maybe this is probably more like Ghostbusters not making really any money. Is that don't just feed them shit. Or like Tarzan is an example too. The who asks for Tarzan? Like they just make movies and nobody asks for them. People ask for Suicide Squad. So that's what at least is doing well, but no one asks for any of those other films. So. Just don't take Rotten Tomatoes so seriously, guys, huh? Just don't take it so seriously, and you'll be alright. That's pretty much the gist of it, everyone. So, I hope you enjoyed today's podcast. If you did, hey, come on, hit the like button, click on that subscribe button. Why don't you? Comment in the comments below. I don't really get too many comments, and I will see y'all next time. Later days.